You know that old cliche, you can never have too much of a good thing? Well, in Pebble Beach during the weekend of August 14th, you will have too much of a good thing, and at times it can seem a bit overwhelming. It's like this. Everywhere you look, there's something spectacular. Everywhere you go, there's something exotic. Every breath you take smells like gasoline. It's a gathering of the finest automobiles in the world, and the passionate, often obsessed individuals who have devoted their lives to cars. Racing legend Mario Andretti, car aficionado and collector Jay Leno, Patrick Dempsey, as well as one man who, much like many of the cars found here at Pebble Beach, has helped shape automotive history as well as fuel the dreams of millions of young car enthusiasts around the world. Gran Turismo creator and founder of Polyphony Digital, Kazunori Yamauchi. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's jump back for just a bit.
The Pebble Beach Concours started 58 years ago in 1950, and it was actually just a sideshow. A separate part of what was really the show was the Pebble Beach road races. And in 1950, people like Phil Hill raced through the forest here, through the trees, on the regular roads. And at the end of the day, these guys stopped and kicked some tires and looked at the new cars of the day, the new sports cars, and a few old cars. And that's how we started. Well, the Pebble Beach Concours had these humble beginnings as part of the road races. And then the road races ended in 1957. There were a couple fatalities, and it was time to not race in the forest anymore. But luckily, the Pebble Beach Concours lived on and has grown and evolved and really become the world's concours.
The Pebble Beach Concours is the finest car show in the world, basically. People come from all around the globe to bring their cars. Many of them have been restoring their cars for years and years to bring them here to compete on Sunday for the best in class, and then of the best in class, the best in show.
Which brings us to the 58th Concours d'Elegance, where, for the first time in 7 years, an all-new award is to be given out, the Polyphony Digital Trophy, chosen entirely by honorary Pebble Beach judge Kazunori Yamauchi, a man that has created the most realistic, historically accurate, and graphically superior car racing video game of all time. A man that translates his love for automobiles and automobile racing into a game that has sold over 50 million units. Today, Yamauchi has been honored with the task of selecting one sports car, a car that transcends all others in performance, design, and ability to reduce sophisticated grown men into giddy little boys. And with a field of hundreds of cars that could easily be placed alongside the Mona Lisa, well, it makes Yamauchi's task quite exciting.
What's so interesting to people about the great classic cars, the early cars, pre-war cars, is they have so much character. They're so unique and different. Each car was low production, many of them hand-built, so they have a lot of individual qualities.
Only 8 of these in the world. And when they were originally built, 4 of them went to Detroit, to designers in Detroit, and the other 4 went to Hollywood movie stars. This is the only one that's finished and restored and all put together, ready to go.
Cars are coach-built, a lot of them, which means that the chassis may be very similar, but the bodywork is completely different. It would be to customer order. Somebody would buy a chassis from Rolls-Royce, for example, and then they would go to the coach builder of their choice, and the coach builder would build a body to their design. So every car is different. They have very much personalities of their own.
This is a Lamborghini 350 GT, and this is the very first car ever sold. This is the original Lamborghini color, original seat colors, and it's the brochure car as well.
Certainly there's no shortage of beauty or history here, but for a man who's devoted his life to the sport and sensation of driving, it's going to take a bit more than a car sitting still on the 18th green to get his blood pumping.
Of course, every event has its naysayers, and I can tell you one of the complaints about the Pebble Beach Concours always was, who are these trailer queen cars? I mean, they come in with booties on their tires, and do they really even drive? So about 10 years ago, one of our participants, Craig Davis, came to me and said, we need to have a driving event.
高級ツーリングカーっていうんでしょうか。この車に乗って、ツールドエレガンスというイベントに参加しようと思います。すごいね、こういうもうなんか一つ一つのディティールが。
Many years ago, and back in the 70s and 80s, we used to drive the cars up here to the show, and then we went through a long period of time during which they were trailered and put in trucks and brought. Now, I guess maybe about 7-8 years ago, they began to have a tour in conjunction with the show, and it's about a 50-mile tour. And it's a good test of a car.
僕が今日乗る車はですね、メルセデスの540系、1937年の車ですね。これらの車たちがこのペブルビーチの周りをですね、一斉に走って、今日一日、ツーリングをするということです。
These guys need to know that these cars should be driven, and that's how it all started. And on Sunday, it really matters because in the case of a tie, the car that went on the tour and finished the tour gets the advantage and gets the prize.
Witnessing these one-of-a-kind sheet metal specimens take to the street is an experience that can't be described in words. It's in their nature to be on the road. It's why they exist. And it's where they sound, oh, so good. Kind of makes you wonder, how do I get me one of those?
People often ask me, where do these cars come from? I mean, every year we have different cars, and in fact, at Pebble Beach, we don't allow a car back unless it's been a 10-year gap. So if someone wants to bring a car every year, how do they find them? And one of the ways is through auctions like the Gooding auction.
This is our 5th year to have an auction here. We have an auction both on Saturday evening before the Concours and Sunday evening. This year we'll be offering 146 cars, a mixture of everything from a 1901 Packard all the way up to a 2009 Bugatti Veyron. What makes us at the forefront of being able to appraise these cars is that we're in constant contact with our clients. We know the transactions that are going on both privately and publicly. We keep our ear to the ground. It's very difficult to know exact value on these one-of-a-kind cars, though. Who's to say what a Hispano Suiza is worth? I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You can give a range, but you never know what will happen.
So this is certainly one of the masterpieces of our sale, the 1959 Ferrari 250 GT California Spider. This is the car that kids dream of owning. I'd love to own it. We'll see who owns it after the auction on Sunday. Built in 1959, this car was ordered new by the last Prince of Spain. This car is a powerful car today, even by modern standards. The car is a V12, 3-liter car, producing approximately 240 horsepower. Today, in the collector world, it is one of the most sought-after cars. Let's take it for a drive.
Anyone can put together a car show with high reserves and everything, but it's our job to get cars that are truly for sale. So oftentimes they'll surprise us. I think the atmosphere here is like no other. Because it's such an international event, you get a real competitive bidding atmosphere. Pebble Beach is where we usually shatter the records. Our first year we sold the Mormon Meteor Duesenberg for $4.5 million. Last year we had a California Spider that we sold for $4.5 million. We have a similar car this year that should bring between 3.5 to north of 4 million. There's a Bugatti that we expect that should bring 5 to 6 million, so we will see. It will be exciting.
7.2 million sold. Congratulations.
And so begins the journey into Pebble Beach, an otherwise serene sea town that for one weekend in August will be energized by decades of automotive history flowing through its tree-lined streets.
正直言ってですね、僕自身は実はクラシックカーにそういうほど興味がなかったんですね。これまでは。で今回このペブルビーチに来る、と決めた時もですね、なんかよくわかんないんだけど一応見ておかなきゃいけないな、そんなつもりで、この場所に来たんですけれども、今はちょっとですね、今までのその自分の気持ちというか、を反省してます。もしかすると僕は車の魅力の、半分ぐらいしか知らなかったかもしれないなというふうに思ってます。僕らが知っている車のメカニズム、あるいは、 僕らが普段目にしている車のいろんな形ですね、美しい形、美しいデザインの処理、そういうものがですね、実はもう70年も昔の車で、ほとんどすでに実現されていて、今の車っていうのはね、そういった、先人たちのものを本当にこう引き継いでいるだけだっていうことも分かってきたりして、ですからこれから何日間か、このペブルビーチのイベントありますけれども、もう半分あるかもしれない、僕自身のわからない車の魅力、それをですね理解していけたら、感じていけたらいいなと思ってます。